You're listening to Shift, Human First Financial Guidance with Ross Marino.
Today, we are shifting the conversation with my friend, Susan Bradley. Hello, Susan.
Hey, Ross. Good to be with you.
Always good to have conversations with you. We have an interesting topic to talk about today. Specifically, we're going to go over a brand new program that you have and why it matters right now. But for people who don't know you, how about you start with 30 seconds and just tell people who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, it turns out 28 years, I've had my financial planner head in the life transition space, paying attention to how clients manage pivotal life events. I started the Sudden Money Institute after the book came out in 2000, and around 2010, we started the Certified Financial Transitionist coaching and certifying program. So I come to you today as a certified financial transitionist. I see the world through the lens of a transitionist.
And now we have a program coming up called AI, but it really isn't artificial intelligence. It's something new. How about you talk about that?
It's called authentic intelligence. And AI, as we know it, artificial intelligence, is actually a really important part of our life. We're not pushing against it saying that that's a bad thing, but we're saying that it's very incomplete. It needs the human element. And that's what authentic intelligence is. It's blending the human side and the technical side. But we've always kind of done that. Ross, for 23 years, we've been looking at the personal or the human side. Now what we want to do is go deeper and fuse the two sides so that it's not two sides. It's kind of 1 + 1 = 3. We're at that stage. We're challenging ourselves to go deeper and to be even more effective with clients as they manage life-changing events.
Well, it's certainly something I'm passionate about. I love the two sides of money. It's how I run my practice, and it's how we try to drive the conversations with clients. It's certainly the genesis behind the entire Shift conference. There's different motivations out there, but in this day and age, there's got to be something, I think, really driving you where you're looking at this and thinking, it's now. Now we really have to talk about this. Why don't you talk about why you really feel like right now you have to dive into authentic intelligence?
Well, as I said, I look at the world through the lens of a transitionist. And I'll back up for a second. A great transition we all went through is the pandemic. And what we've learned in transition work is the deeper the disruption, the more important and the longer the adjustment phase, the next phase, we call it passage. And we're collectively in that. So it turns out that, it's going to show up in our clients. It's also showing up in our industry. You and I have been talking about the human side since we met many years ago. And so it's a shared passion and interest. And Shift was a great example of what I'm about to talk about. And that is that it isn't just a few of us interested in the human side. That's the direction that our industry is drifting. So Shift was so successful because you were hitting on something that people were feeling inside as professionals. You don't feel it inside in isolation of your clients. You see it in your clients. So people are trying to figure out what's going on. Now you could say, okay, so Shift was great and it's the beginning of a giant conversation that's important. It turns out, Russ, that some way or another, the emotional or human side of money has been the lead topic or theme of financial planning conferences in all 5 continents that we work in. It's been consistent. In fact, at the AICPA IWI annual conference, the theme was evolution is not optional. And when I was there, I introduced authentic intelligence for the first time. And I was looking at that and I'm thinking, they're right. Evolution is not optional. We have to be evolving. You can't not be in this flow of change because that's life, right? If you entropy, the lack of change and movement doesn't lead to any place good. So we're already in an evolutionary flow. It's just, I think it's picked up since the pandemic. So our profession is changing, all elements and all layers of it. And I wanted to really pay attention to that. What does that actually mean? Because you and I have already been talking about clients have these two sides of money and this and that. I think right now, what we need to do is do less talking and more doing. Really, what does it mean to be human first, as you say? Or from a transitionist point of view, we've always talked about the blend. What if we fuse the two sides so it didn't look like two different things that are kind of coming together? What are the skills for that? What are we asking of ourselves and of our clients and of our business practices? I think these are important questions. We're answering it in our institute, the Financial Transitionist Institute, by challenging ourselves. So I think I'm inviting everybody to ask themselves these kind of bigger questions in whatever track they're on. Our track is life transition planning. And we say authentic intelligence is the AI for life transitions planning. It may also be the AI for many other aspects of the industry, but this is our track.
So last question, you have a 4-part series come up. Can you talk specifically about some of the topics you'll hit on in that 4-parter?
Yeah, thank you. And I'm keeping these kind of short, Russ. So they're 30-minute sessions because I don't think you can do justice with an hour or an hour and a half. This is a continued experience kind of thing. So I have 4 of them coming up. The first one is on what are the skills and process for authentic intelligence. And it's skills that, things that we might not have thought of as skills, deep listening, silence, the intuitive capacity to create structure around some difficult situations. It's the ability to frame and stay within advisory role when you've got uncertainty. You're no longer the expert. The next one is about how do you have meaningful and sometimes really tough conversations with clients. When life is shifting and everything goes up for grabs for a period of time, those decisions clients make will shape the rest of their life. So how do you have those conversations when people might not even feel ready for them, but yet there's an urgency, life is happening? How do you do that? The next one is what's really the role of a thinking partner versus a financial expert? How do you manage that? Can you be a thinking partner on both sides? How about just being a thinking partner instead of a thinking partner with investments and a thinking partner with family decisions? What is the role of a thinking partner? And then the third one is how does this all roll together? What are we talking about when we say fusion? When we say 1 + 1 = 3, what does that mean? Hopefully we'll get to that by our first time together. So that's where we're going. We've got the 4 webinars to introduce the topic. It's going to be our theme at our annual, it'll be the theme at our annual conference in November. And you'll be talking at that conference, many other people, about how they're leaning into this area of authentic intelligence. I think it's a big conversation. We invite lots of people into this conversation. We'll explore, we'll learn, and we'll evolve.
What I love about what you're doing and why I'm looking forward to your conference as well is when you describe this, you're really not talking about a bolt-on to financial planning. It's not a protocol or a perspective to enhance what we're doing as financial planners. It's a shift in how you approach it in your protocols. And when you do that, when you said 1 + 1 = 3, I actually thought, yeah, but 3 is a number. And when you combine this together, it's going to be something different. Yes, it's financial planning. Yes, it is financial guidance, but it's going to be something that I haven't been doing for the last 20 or 30 years. It really is something different. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I appreciate the work that you're doing. Certainly looking forward to the webinar. We'll make sure we include the links in the description. As always, Susan Bradley, awesome to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you for listening to Shift with Ross Marino. Please visit humanfirst.live to learn more. This show is for general information purposes only and is not intended to provide recommendations or advice. Speak with a legal, tax, or financial advisor before making any decisions. Past performance references are historical and do not guarantee future results.